Hello everybody. So the importance of Catholicism in America. So the first Catholics to arrive in mainland North America were Spaniards, and they arrived in St. Augustine, Florida in 1565. St. Augustine will actually become the first permanent European settlement in the United States. The first Catholic church established in the New World was actually in San Juan, Puerto Rico in 1511. Now, during the colonial period, Catholics were a repressed minority. They were not allowed to practice their religion freely, and in most cases, if they were found to be practicing in any of the colonies, they could be charged with a number of crimes, and they could be punished in a number of ways. I know the Puritans basically said if you were a practicing Catholic, you could be put to death. The one colony that did established Catholicism was Maryland, and it was founded by Lord Baltimore. Sadly, it was turned over to the Protestants, and the Catholics had their rights taken away. Pennsylvania was also tolerant of Catholics as well. According to an article by Timothy Matavina, at the time of the Declaration of Independence, when it was signed, Catholics made up about 1% of the population. And out of the 56 men that signed the Declaration of Independence, only one was Catholic. And when the Constitution was signed, only 2 of the men that signed it were Catholic. According to Knoll, Roman Catholics increased in importance between the Civil War and World War II for 2 reasons. First of all, their population grew substantially from 3.5 million to over 15 million people in over a 40-year period from about 1870 to 1910. And this was due to a massive immigration from southern and central European countries like Italy and Poland. And there was also a large number of Irish that were coming over to America as well. Now, the second reason that Catholicism and the Catholics increased in importance was because of the Americanization of their religion. Basically, what that means is how they Americanized and assimilated into the American culture that was also changing and evolving as well. And by the turn of the century, around about 1900, Catholicism actually became the largest denomination in the country. And from there, it became very, very influential in our country. For example, as the Catholic presence grew in the United States, so did the pressure that they put on the educational system. America's education system was predominantly Protestant influence, and the Catholics didn't like that their children were having to go and read and pray like the Protestants. And so around the 1840s, there was actually a Catholic push in New York to have tax money fund Catholic schools. That failed. They continued to fight for it, but this also led to the start to secularize public schools. Now, something I found really interesting in my research was Catholics' influence in the United States on healthcare. Now, part of their belief system is taking care of people just like the apostles did, and which pushes for health care. And the first Catholic hospital was established in 1727 in New Orleans. And today, the Catholic Church is actually responsible for over 600 hospitals in the United States. Sean Theriault states in his article, "The American Catholic Church is a Political Institution," that the Church operates nearly 13% of hospitals that account for nearly 16% of hospital admissions. And this data makes it far and away the largest private healthcare provider in the United States. So they're not just important just as a religious institution, but also just because of their beliefs and how they influence the United States. Catholics have also been really important in American politics. New York elected its first Catholic mayor in 1880, and Boston followed in 1884. Our first and only Catholic president was John F. Kennedy, and John Kerry, when he ran for president, would have been second, but obviously he didn't win. And a fun fact, the first Catholic to be nominated by a major political party was a man named Al Smith in 1928 who ran for president. Today, 31% of the members of Congress are Catholic, and 5 Supreme Court justices are too. Now, the late Justice Antonin Scalia was also Catholic as well. So as you can see, Catholicism has been really important in our history, and they continue to be very influential, and I highly recommend you read up on them. It's very interesting.